Over 85% of Americans shopped at Walmart last year. But in 2025, something shocking is happening, and no one's talking about it. Shoppers are walking away, quietly, and for good. Walmart, once the go-to for rock-bottom prices and convenience, is turning into the very thing we tried to escape. Overpriced, unreliable, and flat-out exhausting. Sound familiar? You walk in for a few basics, swipe your card, and bam! Your total hits like a punch to the gut. You glance at your cart, half full, and think, wait, how did this cost so much? That's not just inflation. That's a broken promise, and shoppers are waking up. Fast. So if you've felt that sting lately, you're not alone. In fact, the real reasons behind this shift? They're deeper and more frustrating than you think. Stick with me, because when we get to reason number 1, it'll completely flip the way you see Walmart and how you shop from now on. Reason 7. SelfCheckout is a total joke. Now, SelfCheckout was supposed to make shopping faster, easier, more convenient. But here we are in 2025, and let's be real. It feels like we're doing someone else's job for free. No greeting, no help, no paycheck. Just a blinking screen and a robotic voice repeating, "Unexpected item in the bagging area," again and again. One mom in Kentucky filmed herself trying to scan groceries while balancing a screaming toddler, watching apples roll across the floor with not a single employee in sight. The video went viral, not because it was shocking, but because it was exactly what so many people go through every week. People are fed up. Social media is filled with sarcastic comments like, "Do I get an employee discount for doing all the work?" But underneath the jokes, there's something deeper. Exhaustion. Shopping shouldn't feel like work, especially for families already trying to stretch every dollar. You show up to save money, not to be the cashier, the bagger, and the tech support, all while being charged full price. And here's the part no one talks about. The frustration builds up slowly. One frozen item that won't scan. One error that triggers a flashing red light. One long wait while your food starts to thaw. It's not just inefficient, it's insulting. Because when a store shifts the burden onto the customer but keeps charging the same prices, that's not convenience. That's corporate cost-cutting in disguise. And shoppers are finally waking up to it. Fast. And just wait until you hear what's happening with the food you're bringing home, because that part? It's even worse. Reason 6. Refrigerated products. No one trusts. There's a moment, a quiet, frustrating moment, when you crack open a brand new gallon of milk and it already smells off. That's when it hits you. Something isn't right. And it's not just a one-time fluke. More and more shoppers are tossing out dairy, meat, even produce, days before the printed date. One woman in Michigan said she had to throw away 2 full gallons of milk in the same month. No complaint, no refund request, just a quiet decision. That was it for me. And she's not the only one. Across the country, people are noticing the same thing. Chicken with a grayish tint. Cheese that starts to sweat before you get it home. Yogurt that turns sour while the seal is still intact. And the scariest part? It's happening too often to ignore. Shoppers aren't just annoyed, they're changing where they shop. Because when you can't trust the food you're feeding your family, that low price means nothing. That $2 you saved on milk? Wasted. And worse, it leaves you questioning what else you've already eaten. It's why more and more people are walking past Walmart's coolers and heading to Aldi, Kroger, or local stores where freshness still matters. And once that seed of doubt is planted, it spreads. It follows you down every aisle. Because when you stop trusting your groceries, you start watching everything more closely. And the next betrayal? It's not hidden in the fridge. It's right there on the shelf, wearing a bright yellow discount sticker like a disguise. Reason 5. Rollbacks. That don't roll back. There was a time when a yellow rollback tag meant something. You'd see it and feel like you scored a real deal, a little win during a tight week. But in 2025, more shoppers are discovering the truth. Those discounts aren't what they seem. Behind the scenes, quiet price hikes go into effect. And then, weeks later, that same item gets a rollback sticker, bringing it back to the original price. Or worse, sometimes even higher. And shoppers? They're catching on. People are saving receipts, tracking price history, posting side-by-side comparisons online. And the verdict is clear. It's not a deal. It's a decoy, a distraction. And the emotional toll is deeper than disappointment. It's betrayal. For a store that built its reputation on being the low-price leader, playing games with pricing feels personal. especially for families who walk in hoping to beat inflation, only to walk out feeling tricked. Because when price tags start lying, trust disappears fast. And once that trust is gone, so is the loyalty. The shopper might not say a word to the manager. They might even smile on the way out, but they're not coming back next week. And in the next chapter, you'll see exactly what's pushing them even further away. Reason 4. Customer service is basically dead. There was a time when walking into Walmart felt human. You'd see a greeter at the door, someone smiling at checkout, maybe even a kind voice pointing you in the right direction. But in 2025, that warmth is gone. What's left feels cold. The lights, the closed lanes, the empty aisles. And the few employees you do see? They look just as tired and overwhelmed as the customers walking past them. It's not just that staff are scarce, it's that the ones who are there seem overworked, undertrained, and completely checked out. One shopper summed it up after a recent visit. "I felt completely alone, even though the store was full of people." That hits hard. Because shopping isn't supposed to feel isolating. And yet, the more Walmart leans into automation, the more disconnected everything feels. Sure, machines might be efficient, but they don't ask how your day's going. They don't help you find allergy meds for your kid. They don't make you feel seen or valued. And for many people, especially families and older shoppers, that simple human connection matters more than any rollback price ever could. But here's the deeper issue. When even the employees stop caring, it sends a message, one you don't need words to hear. If the people who represent the store don't care about your experience, then why should you keep spending your money there? Shoppers may not complain. They may not cause a scene. But quietly and steadily, they're making a choice to walk away, to spend their dollars somewhere that still feels human. And stick around, because the next reason? It's the one that's pushing people over the edge. Reason 3. Empty shelves, week after week. You walk into Walmart for the basics. Eggs, milk, toilet paper. The essentials. But aisle after aisle, shelf after shelf, nothing. And it's not just a one-time fluke or a weather event. It's week after week, the same frustrating story. Empty hooks, cardboard placeholders, and disappointed shoppers walking out with less than they came for. It's like playing a game of grocery roulette and losing every single time. And what stings the most? It's not that you couldn't afford what you needed. It's that Walmart didn't even have it. For families living on tight budgets, this isn't just inconvenient, it's insulting. Gas isn't free. Time isn't free. And when you build your meal plan around what should be there only to leave with an empty cart and wasted time, it feels like a slap in the face. One shopper said, "I spent 40 minutes and got 2 items. I could have stayed home." And they're right. When a store claims to offer value but can't even keep shelves stocked, it stops being a solution and becomes a gamble. And no one wants to gamble with dinner. What's happening now is quiet but powerful. Shoppers aren't yelling. They're not protesting. They're just leaving, turning to smaller stores, farmers markets, and regional chains that may not offer flashy rollbacks, but actually keep food on the shelves. And once they find consistency elsewhere, they're not coming back. And what's even more telling, the problem isn't just the shelves. It's creeping into Walmart's own private label, and that might be the biggest red flag of all. Reason 2. Great value's great decline. There was a time when great value actually lived up to its name. It was the smart choice. The go-to for families who knew how to stretch a dollar without sacrificing dinner. But in 2025, that value is slipping, fast. What used to feel reliable now feels off. Packages are shrinking. Textures feel strange. Labels keep changing. And the quality? Let's just say it's raising more eyebrows than expectations. One shopper opened a can of great value green beans and said it looked like it came from a swamp, not a shelf. And this isn't about being picky. It's about being practical. Because when the store brand starts cutting corners, the families who rely on those products notice. Fast. What used to be a safe, budget-friendly option suddenly becomes a waste. The food sits untouched. The money gets thrown away. And the shopper walks out with more than just a bad taste. They walk out with broken trust. Because great value was supposed to be a safety net, a dependable option when every dollar matters. But now, it's starting to feel like a trap. And here's the hard truth. If even the cheap stuff isn't worth buying, then what's left? For a lot of families, it means shifting away from Walmart altogether, turning to Aldi, Costco, or local brands that still care about what they're putting on the shelves. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about paying less. It's about not getting played. And when even Walmart's biggest promise, low prices, starts to crumble, that's when everything falls apart. And that's exactly what we're diving into next in reason number 1. Reason 1. Walmart isn't the cheapest anymore. This is the one shaking everything. For decades, Walmart didn't just sell cheap, it defined cheap. It was the fallback, the safety net, the place you ran to when bills were tight and every dollar had to stretch just a little further. But in 2025, that reputation is cracking fast. Real price comparisons now show that Aldi beats Walmart on over 70% of common grocery staples. And that's not a fluke. That's a shift. A fundamental, game-changing shift. Think about what that really means. The old slogan, "Save money, live better," starts to feel hollow when you're paying more and walking away with less. Because when another store charges less and treats you better, the question isn't why leave Walmart, it's why stay. Even the diehards, the loyal shoppers who knew every corner of the store, every rollback, every secret clearance rack, are stepping away. They're buying in bulk at Costco. They're grabbing staples at Aldi. They're going back to farm stands, butchers, regional chains, because at least there, what you see is what you get. No shrinkflation, no sticker tricks, no playing games with people who are just trying to feed their families. And here's the wake-up call. When your most loyal customers, the budget warriors, the working moms, the everyday families start quietly walking away, that's not just a red flag. That's a bright, blinking neon sign that says, "We're done." Because once people realize they can get more for less somewhere else, the illusion is broken. And when that happens, Walmart doesn't just lose sales, it loses its place in people's lives. And for many shoppers in 2025, Walmart isn't the automatic first choice anymore. It's becoming the last resort. Because here's the truth. This isn't just about spending less, it's about spending smarter. In 2025, every dollar matters more than ever, and shoppers are finally fighting back with better choices. So now I want to hear from you. What finally made you rethink Walmart? Was it the spoiled milk? The fake rollback? The blinking checkout light that made you feel like an unpaid employee? Drop your story in the comments. I'm reading every one of them, and trust me, you're not alone. And if this video opened your eyes, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to Frugal Daily, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a single tip that could save you money or a shopping regret. Every week, we break down what's really happening behind the shelves so you can shop smarter and stay ahead. And hey, if you're still buying meat at grocery stores without knowing what to avoid, you need to watch this next. Never buy meat at these 7 grocery stores. Here's why. Some of these will honestly shock you. Click it now, your wallet and your dinner table will thank you. Because when the savings disappear, the shoppers disappear too. And that's exactly what's happening in 2025.